Donald Trump, he continues on his warpath to make sure that he takes out every Republican that ever once halfway slighted him. And in doing so, he has endorsed a woman by the name of Kelly Tshibaka for the Alaska Senate race to make sure that she comes in and takes out one of his opponents. Who's she going up against? She's going up, who's our friend in Alaska? I'm blanking on her name. Either way goes, we're gonna listen to what she had to say about her background and how she talks to God, because if you're gonna be a God, Lisa Murkowski finally came back to me. As it comes to who she is and where she came from, she's this super Christian. She wanted to make sure that people knew exactly how amazingly Christian she is, along with her child. So let's listen to this little piece about her explaining this conversation with an imaginary person.
Years and years until Denali started talking. And then we'd have these full conversations at 18 months. And I knew exactly what she was saying. I said, oh yeah, well, what's that like? I was just going back and watching videos of it. She would tell me, even to this day, I cannot understand what she's saying. But me in the video will translate exactly what she said, an interpretation. And I would converse right back with her. And then she'd go back and say something. And then other people would come in the room and she would have these full conversations with them. And they'd go, and she'd look at them like they were so stupid. And she'd look at me like, will you please interpret for me? And so I'd tell them what she said, an interpretation of the tongue, and then they would talk right back. And that's when I realized God loves it when I try to talk in my spirit language. He thinks it's so cute that the only person in the world who can understand me is him.
Oh my God, she's going to be president of the United States, I guarantee you. She'll be president of the United States of America.
Well, it's really cold up there in Alaska, isn't it? It's real cold, huh?
Now, if you couldn't really fully understand what she was saying, it's because you don't get her spirit talk. Now, I'm not the one to judge what people may experience or go back and forth with a higher power, or even speaking with their kid and seeing out their infant and potential can understand what they're saying. But why is this being discussed as far as you campaign for office? What does this have to do with you representing the people of Alaska well? What does this have to do with how much better you are than Lisa Murkowski? I don't know, but this is why apparently she could potentially become president of the United States, has been pointed out, because who cares about qualifications? Who cares about an agenda? Who cares about policy? Who cares about principles? Well, maybe this is part of the principle pitch. As long as she speaks in tongues to her kid via God, I kind of didn't fully understand it, but that this is a big moment for her. So really fast, as you see, Trump also appears on her campaign page. How awesome this is, they're side by side, we both speak to God. Trump showed off his Bible multiple times as he ran for office, and actually once he was already president as well, because he has a Bible, so that means he's an awesome person. And so also-
It's also in mint condition, never been opened.
He talked about the inscription in the front and someone said something nice to him. I think that's the part that he read because it was something someone said nice about him as a 10-year-old. But either way it goes, she had a little bit more to say. She went after Mitch McConnell and also, of course, Lisa Murkowski, who she has been endorsed by Trump to then beat in the primary. And she had this to say, calling them a bunch of rhinos.
The only way that Biden has been able to stay afloat is because he's got these enabling officers in the US Senate. Lisa Murkowski, who I'm running against in Alaska, is his chief enabling officer. I call her Biden's CEO. But Mitch McConnell's right up there. The only way Biden has been able to push through his business busting, common sense canceling, defense decimating, energy annihilating, gun grabbing, illegal immigrant inviting, liberty loathing, parent punishing, socialist supporting, radical America annihilating agenda is through people like Lisa Murkowski and Mitch McConnell.
There's this rule that if you're gonna go through like a list of things and it's pre-planned, I don't even know if that was pre-planned, but if you go through a list of things with a bunch of name mixes or whatever it was that she was doing, you kind of stop at 3. It's like you hit 1, then you hit the 2nd and the 3rd, and that's like effective. If you go to 7 or 8, eventually your audience will like, okay, when is she gonna stop with this list? And that's what it felt like there. Anyway, that's just a critique on her.
I'm just surprised that to hear her say that Biden has accomplished stuff. That That's a new stance for that side.
True.
That's pretty.
That's what stood out to you. Okay.
That is what stood out to me.
It wasn't her speaking in tongues. Okay.
Well, also, I will say about her speaking in tongues, that was some of the laziest speaking in tongues I've seen since Anne H., when she pretended that God was talking to her in some weird spirit language that told her to be only Ellen gay, but not actually gay, but gay for just one huge celebrity that she was able to make her raise her profile with. She literally was just babbling like a toddler. And she was like, and when the spirit said to me, hungry. I mean, this is a language?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, she gave the kid some food and that was it, right? It worked out for you.
Yep, it did.
Now, you did speak about potentially her stance on gay rights, homosexuality, but in 2001, she also was part of this, as she was at Harvard Law. She wrote something called The Right Side Coming Out of Homosexuality. This is in 2001, and part of it said this: homosexuals can come out of homosexuality because their preference is not biologically mandated, is what she wrote in 2001. Unlike race or gender, homosexuality is a choice. So, it's a choice, so that means straight people also choose to do it. I mean, you can't just have it on one side where, oh, you know, you're gay, so it's obvious you were straight and you just decided to go about this random thing for no reason in your mind. You said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure that I declare myself a member of society that a significant percentage of which hate and want to kill and don't think I'm really who I am. That's a great idea. Hey, you know what? One day I'm just gonna decide to be like the most disenfranchised, one of the most disenfranchised groups in the world, because it's just fun. Why would anybody make that choice? And in fact, many people who are gay or a part of the LGBTQ plus community, they were probably thought many times, because of how much oppression and hatred is tossed their way, sometimes even from family, they try not to be who they are. That happens all the time. So in reality, many people are trying to make the choice opposite of who they really are to please other people like this woman here. And it just doesn't work. Many times they end up being depressed, tragically commit suicide, or get killed by someone else because they found out who they are. This is the approach that someone who wants to win elected office is coming with from 2001. She's not trying to hide this stuff from her past. This is probably part of her campaign arm. Yeah, I've hated gay folks since forever, and yeah, you should elect me because what else? We've piled on enough. What more legislation or principles can you push against people that have already been pushed at enough for being who they are? It's maddening.
Oh, absolutely. This woman is very ignorant, and to uplift her and essentially give her hate-filled nonsense a platform it's just incredibly disgusting. But what else do you expect from Trump and his cohorts?
You can imagine. This is why, again, if you're Kelly Shibaka, you can understand why you think you have a chance. And Ben, you're right, she does. Marjorie Taylor Greene is in office. Lauren Boebert is in office. Matt Gaetz is in office.
I would take, instead of Chewbacca, I would honestly take Chewbacca as a more serious candidate, or even just a loaf of ciabatta bread I would take as a more serious presentation to help our country. But this is where we are, and these people, there's no absurd bar. Leave aside morals for a minute, because there just seems to be a huge swath of the country that just doesn't have the same moral base or a moral base on most of these issues, but just absurdity. There's no embarrassment level that they're not willing to endorse. They just will take anyone that has every extreme position and say, great, you can literally be a clown. You can be a clown in clown makeup with a handshake that you promise your word on what you say, and it's a joy buzzer, then your flower squirts water in their face. As long as you will oppress people and come up with positions that will keep people down, you'll get the full endorsement all the way to the former top.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.